Imagine this scenario. Your backyard has been a welcoming place for birds for years. Cardinals visit regularly. Sparrows bathe in your bird bath. The feeder is always full of activity. Your yard is known among the local bird community as a safe and reliable place. Birds visit frequently. Multiple species nest in your yard. The environment feels established and peaceful. And then something happens. One single incident changes everything. A cat attacks a bird in your yard. A hawk strikes suddenly from above. A window strike kills a bird at high speed. A pesticide application goes wrong and poisons birds. One bad experience. One moment of danger or tragedy. And suddenly the birds stop coming. The birds that once visited your yard daily now avoid it completely. The established trust is shattered. The safe place is no longer safe in bird memory. One bad experience has essentially ruined your yard as a bird habitat. The birds remember, and they tell other birds, and the knowledge spreads through the bird community. Your yard, which was once a beacon of safety, has become a place to avoid. And here is the devastating truth about this situation. One bad experience can require years to overcome. A single incident can erase years of trust building. The birds will remember the danger they or their companions experienced. Other birds will learn about the danger. The bird community will communicate that your yard is no longer safe. You will need enormous patience and commitment to rebuild the trust that was destroyed in a single moment. But here is the other side of this truth. Redemption is possible. Even after a terrible incident, even after the birds have stopped coming, even after the yard has become avoided, it is still possible to rebuild. It is still possible to restore your yard to being a welcoming place for birds. But the path to redemption requires understanding what went wrong, taking responsibility, making real changes, and demonstrating genuine safety through patient, consistent behavior over extended time. The first thing you need to understand is the depth of bird memory and communication. Birds have remarkable long-term memory. A bird that experienced danger in your yard will remember that danger for months or years. The bird will remember not just the incident itself, but the location, the time of day, the circumstances. The bird will remember which parts of the yard were dangerous and which might be safer. The bird will avoid the location where danger occurred, even if the danger no longer exists. More importantly, the bird will communicate about the danger to other birds. The warning is shared through vocalizations, through behavioral signals, through community knowledge. Other birds learn that your yard is dangerous. Birds that never personally experience the incident learn to avoid your yard because other birds have warned them. The knowledge spreads through the local bird community. Your yard develops a reputation for danger. This reputation is not easy to overcome because it is based on genuine bad experience. Birds are not being irrational or overly cautious. Birds are responding to information that danger occurred in your yard. From the bird perspective, your yard is a place where harm happens. What are the kinds of incidents that can cause birds to stop visiting? The most obvious is predation. A cat catches a bird in your yard. A hawk attacks successfully. A snake takes a nestling. A raccoon raids a nesting site. Predation is a traumatic event that birds communicate extensively. Every bird in the neighborhood learns about predation incidents. Predators are treated with extreme caution and fear. A yard where predation has occurred becomes a danger zone in bird memory. The birds will avoid the yard to avoid being the next victim. This avoidance can last for months or until the birds are absolutely certain the predator is no longer active in that location. Another category of incident that drives birds away is window strikes. A bird flying at high speed crashes into a window. The bird may die or may be severely injured. Other birds witness this incident or hear the impact. The window becomes a known hazard. Birds learn that the window is dangerous. They avoid flying in that direction. They warn other birds about the window hazard. A single window strike can change bird flight patterns and cause birds to avoid your yard entirely. Window strikes are particularly common during migration periods when birds are flying at night and are disoriented by lights and reflections. A single fatal window strike during migration can cause the loss of birds from your yard for an entire season or longer. A third category of incident is chemical poisoning. A pesticide or herbicide is applied to your yard. The chemical is toxic to birds. Birds ingest the chemical through contaminated insects, contaminated seeds, or direct contact. The birds become ill or die. Other birds notice the illness or death of their companions. Birds communicate that the yard has become poisoned. The yard is avoided as a toxic danger zone. Chemical poisoning incidents are particularly damaging because they are not easily understood or corrected. The poison persists in the environment. The danger may continue for weeks or months after the initial application. Birds will avoid the yard for the duration of the chemical persistence, and often longer. A fourth category of incident is human aggression. A human physically attacks a bird. A human throws something at birds. A human captures and injures a bird. A human destroys a nest or nestlings. These incidents, while less common, create profound fear and avoidance in birds. Birds will avoid humans they perceive as threatening. If a human in a particular yard has shown aggression toward birds, the birds will avoid that yard, even if the person is no longer there. The bird community communicates that humans in that location are dangerous. The emotional impact of these incidents on the birds cannot be overstated. Birds are not emotionless creatures. A bird that witnesses the death of a companion is affected. A bird that survives an attack is traumatized. A bird that loses its nest or nestlings experiences loss. These emotional experiences influence bird behavior. The birds will avoid situations they perceive as dangerous or emotionally harmful. Your yard, which was a place of comfort and safety, has become a place of danger and loss. The birds choose to avoid it. Now here is where the redemption part comes in. Once you understand that a bad incident has caused birds to avoid your yard, you have the opportunity to take action to rebuild trust. But rebuilding trust after a traumatic incident is not quick. It requires genuine change and patient demonstration of that change over extended time. The birds will test your yard cautiously before committing to return. The process of rebuilding can take months or even years, depending on the severity of the incident and how consistently you address the underlying problem. The first step in redemption is to identify and eliminate the source of danger. If the problem was a predator, you must control that predator. You must make absolutely certain the predator will no longer hunt in your yard. If the problem was a cat, the cat must be kept indoors or physically prevented from accessing the yard. If the problem was a hawk, you must create safer environments that the hawk cannot easily access. If the problem was a snake, you must eliminate the snake or remove the conditions that allow snakes to thrive. The danger source must be genuinely eliminated, not just temporarily removed. Birds will test the safety of your yard. If the danger source is still present, birds will immediately sense it and the avoidance will continue. The second step is to address the specific location where the incident occurred. If a predator attacked birds in a specific area of the yard, that area must become safer and more defensible. Add protective vegetation. Create escape routes. Remove hiding spots where predators can ambush. The specific location of the incident becomes a focus of improvement. If a window strike killed a bird, the window must be made visible to birds through decals, screens, or covering. The window hazard must be eliminated. If chemical poisoning occurred, The contaminated soil must be remediated or replaced. The source of the poison must be removed. The specific location of danger must be transformed into a safe location. The third step is to establish a pattern of consistent safety. Birds will test your yard cautiously. They will approach carefully. They will watch for danger. They will take flight quickly if they sense any threat. Your job is to demonstrate through consistent behavior that the yard is now safe. Do not make sudden movements near birds. Do not chase birds. Do not allow predators near the yard. Maintain the improvements you made. Keep the predator control measures active. Maintain the bird-safe environment. The birds need to see weeks and months of consistent safety before they will rebuild trust. Let me tell you about someone who successfully rebuilt bird trust after a terrible incident. This homeowner had a beautiful yard full of bird activity. One spring, a neighborhood cat killed 3 birds in 1 week in the homeowner's yard. The incident was traumatic. All the birds disappeared. The yard became empty. The homeowner felt devastated and guilty. But the homeowner decided to take action. The cat was no longer allowed in the yard through the installation of a cat-proof fence. Protective vegetation was increased. The homeowner created a haven that predators could not easily access. For weeks, no birds returned. For months, the yard remained quiet. The homeowner persisted. They maintained the safety measures. They watched the yard daily. Gradually, over months, individual birds began testing the yard cautiously. A cardinal appeared briefly. A sparrow landed on a branch and watched carefully before flying away. The birds were evaluating whether the yard was truly safe now. The homeowner continued the safety maintenance. Gradually, over the course of a year, the bird population returned. The established species came back. The trust was rebuilt. The yard that had been ruined by a single incident became welcoming again. It took patience and commitment. It took genuine change, not just apologies. But redemption was possible. This story illustrates the profound truth about yard incidents and bird memory. One bad experience can ruin your yard, but redemption is possible through genuine effort and consistent safety demonstration. The birds will test your commitment. The birds will verify that the danger is actually gone. If you persist in your efforts and maintain the safety conditions, the birds will eventually return. The trust can be rebuilt. The yard can become a safe place again. There is also a preventive aspect to this knowledge. Understanding how sensitive birds are to single bad incidents should motivate you to prevent incidents from happening in the first place. Control your cat. Cover your windows. Use safe pest management. Manage predators actively. Create physically safe environments. Do not apply toxic chemicals. Prevent human aggression toward birds. The best approach is to never allow a bad incident to happen. One incident of prevention is worth months or years of redemption efforts. The prevention requires ongoing commitment, but it is far less labor-intensive than rebuilding trust after an incident. The relationship between humans and birds in suburban yards is fragile in some ways. A single human action or inaction can destroy trust. But the relationship is also resilient in other ways. Birds are willing to rebuild trust. Birds will return if you demonstrate genuine change. Birds will give you a second chance if you commit to making your yard genuinely safe. This resilience and willingness to rebuild is remarkable. It offers hope. Even if you have had a traumatic incident in your yard, you can recover. You can learn from the incident. You can make changes. You can demonstrate over time that your yard is safe again. The birds will notice. The birds will test your yard. And eventually, if you persist, the birds will return. Your yard can become a welcoming place for birds again. The incident will be in the past. A new relationship of trust can be built. The redemption is possible. It requires patience, commitment, and genuine change, but it is possible. Your yard does not have to be ruined forever by a single bad experience. Recovery is within your reach if you are willing to put in the effort to rebuild.